Take one. Whenever you're ready.
Jeremy made me watch SpaceBalls on this week's episode of So I Married a Millennial. Quicker.
Let's just get one more for safety. Take two.
I'm Lauren Levy. This is JJ Levy on my lap.
Oh, hi. I'm Jeremy Levy. Intro, take four.
The So I Married a Millennial podcast where we watch episodes, not episodes. Cool.
Intro, take four.
It's 5, but I love you.
Intro, take 5. This is now just the whole podcast. And we are both millennials on opposite sides of the spectrum.
Jeremy and I have been going through some classic and not so classic 80s and 90s movies.
We realize there are huge gaps in our culture knowledge of one another, so now we are making the other watch movies from our childhood to see if they hold up when you are not drunk on nostalgia.
Cheers.
Cheers. Here we go.
So I married a millennial. Now I'm watching all the things he knows. So I married a millennial. I married a millennial.
They have just announced a sequel to the 1987 Mel Brooks classic SpaceBalls.
Timely.
They're doing a SpaceBalls 2. It's happening.
Is it going to be called SpaceBalls 2, do we know? Or is it like Spaceballs more balls?
They might lean into, there's a joke in this one, Spaceballs 2, the search for more money. Here
Delightful.
we go. Spaceballs 1, just called Spaceballs, 1987, the Rotten Tomatoes synopsis. In a distant galaxy, planet Spaceball has depleted its air supply, leaving its citizens reliant on a product called Perry Air. In desperation, Spaceball's leader, President Scroob, Mel Brooks, orders evil Dark Helmet, Rick Moranis, to kidnap Princess Vespa, Daphne Zuniga, of oxygen-rich Druidia, and hold her hostage in exchange for air. But help arrives for the princess in the form of renegade space pilot Lone Star, Bill Pullman, and his half-man, half-dog partner, Barf, John Candy. 52% critic score, not great. 83% audience score. That is a very big difference.
Yes, it is.
That's huge. On a budget of $22.7 million, it grossed $38,119,483. So actually was not a big hit.
No.
No.
I was waiting for you to say and something cents. That felt like a very specific number.
Yes, the internet tends to be very specific what it wants to be.
Okay, so we ripping off Star Wars was sort of my initial, we're going for a Star Wars thing.
Yep.
But then what sort of surprised me watching this was we were sort of parodying a lot of other movies.
Mm-hmm.
We had Wizard of Oz in there.
So this is sort of your first foray into like the Mel Brooks sphere, kind of, right? Like, had you seen any other Mel Brooks or Mel Brooks parody movies before this?
Name another one.
So I think his first solo movie was The Producers.
Oh, okay.
Blazing Saddles. Fair enough. I also kind of miss Blazing. That was before me too. That was more 70s.
Okay.
History of the World, Part 1. Have you heard of this? Also was, I believe, late 70s. So kind of missed me. But Spaceballs was my foray into Mel Brooks because this hit me right in the childhood.
Right in the childhood.
Got me right in the childhood. Did you think it was funny?
I thought a lot of it actually was funny. I laughed out loud. I had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of other spoofs, there's definitely some of it where I'm like, okay, we're going a little far for me. Pizza the Hut is horrible.
Yeah.
I know that we were going for a Jabba the Hutt thing, obviously. Most also, it was not subtle, as spoof movies are not.
It was very, very dad humor laden.
Yes.
It was very like old Borscht Belt Jewish comic,
Yes.
dad humor,
Naming
like a lot of broad stuff.
Yeah, naming the guy Barf. Barf
Yeah.
is a name horrible. The laser CGI looked horrible.
Okay.
My complaints: laser CGI, Pizza the Hut,
Yeah.
the name Barf, and then at the very end, the title character the very Anakin-y dude kissing with his eyes open.
That was very. We both clocked that. We try not to talk about the movie while we're watching it, but if something very disturbing or something that bears immediate attention happens, we will say it. And Bill Pullman
kissing with his eyes open. That
that
offended me.
I don't remember that.
That man is too sexy to be doing that.
Okay, so your criticism of the effects dovetails into my first piece of trivia.
Tell me.
Let's say.
Tell me.
So this movie came out well after the last Star Wars movie. The last Star Wars movie was Return of the Jedi, and I believe it was early 80s.
So why did the lasers look so much?
This, Mel Brooks had been kicking this around for years, and he went to George Lucas, and he said, I want to do a Star Wars, like, sort of spoofy thing. George Lucas was a huge fan of Mel Brooks. He actually read the script, and he loved it.
Really?
And he gave George Lucas George Lucas gave Mel Brooks his blessing to do the movie. His only caveat, well, two caveats. One, no merchandise. There could be no SpaceBalls merchandise.
Oh, so that's why they keep making the joke in the movie about merchandise.
Correct.
Okay, that's good to know.
No merchandise.
Okay.
He couldn't dress up Lone Star a la Han Solo. He didn't want him looking like Han Solo. So instead, Mel Brooks made him look like Indiana Jones.
I said Anakin when I meant Han Solo earlier. I have to kill myself for that.
No,
but,
that's okay. I'm sure no one in the comments noticed that at all. And no one will drag you. But here is the third part of that. He also gave him use of his special effects company, Industrial Lights and Magic. So
that's the same special effects company that did Star Wars? Why does it look so bad then? That looks nothing like the lasers in Star Wars.
I can't say that they spent the same amount of time and money on it, maybe as Star Wars. Actually, that's not true. I'm basically just going straight into trivia.
I love it. I honestly, I almost looked up the trivia for this one because I found myself very curious after we watched last night, but I wanted to save it. So honestly, go with the trivia, babe.
So
Run.
This movie cost $22.7 million, which was the most expensive movie Mel Brooks had ever made, I believe. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Certainly more than his first movie, The Producers, which cost $1 million to make. But
very different settings.
But Star Wars: A New Hope, the first Star Wars movie, cost $11 million to make. It cost half the amount of money that this, I mean, maybe inflation.
For the lasers to look like that?
It was 10 years earlier, so maybe inflation or something, or...
That's very surprising.
So even though I have seen this a million times, I probably have not seen it for a while. I feel like every time you watch this movie, you will catch another joke, no matter
I believe that.
How many times
I believe that.
You watch this movie. And even in the opening crawl, I never realized this, probably because I didn't know what it meant, but it says the first thing, instead of like chapter 4 for A New Hope, he calls this chapter chapter 11.
11.
Which, yeah. I was like, that's funny. That's a good bit.
It's a good bit.
You look unconvinced.
Well, chapter 11, like bankruptcy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't find that like laugh out loud, but I was like, we're going with the Star Wars thing because it always says a chapter, but
yeah. That was yes.
So I'm sorry, I guess I didn't give that the due that it deserved.
I mean, it gets the due that it gets. I have noticed that like
the due that it gets.
I have noticed
print it on a t-shirt.
It gets the due that it gets. I did notice that I did not laugh out loud as much as I remember laughing out loud. And maybe I've just sort of outgrown that kind of humor, but I do I love that like the humor is all over the place, from naming John Candy Barf to making a Kafka joke.
Yeah.
At at the end,
There was levels to this shit, for sure.
the ship, he says, engage metamorphosis, and Rick Moranis says, ready Kafka? And I'm like, we're everywhere.
But then
We're
we
making
also
poop
have,
jokes.
and yeah, we have like the prince whose name is Valium, so he's sleepy. Like we really, mostly we're in the like low tier of
Yeah.
like pretty base humor, but you're right. Some of it was a little more elevated, sort of woven throughout. Can you answer me? And the answer is probably just because it's funny. Why is the opening shot of the ship, why does it go on for so long? Like so long? Is that just because it's funny because it keeps going?
Because it's funny.
My God.
I have to wonder how long they were in the editing room. Like the exact number of seconds that it becomes funny.
And that's, I gotta be honest, it lost me. I think it went too long.
I mean,
Hot take.
no, that's
There were multiple times where I was like, okay, surely now I get it. It's funny. It's still going. It's funny. It's still going.
right.
And then it kept going again.
I mean, I think that is the idea, is that like it is constantly defying expectations, and you're
Which,
just
fair
like,
enough.
oh my god, and the sheer ballsiness of being like,
I
do that every time.
Spaceballs.
I
Ballsy.
do it every time. Rick Moranis was giving Lord Farquaad.
Respectfully, because Rick Moranis is a king. I love him so much.
Do you want to talk about your personal connection to Rick Moranis, or will you be disinherited?
No, I don't know that my parents have figured out how to listen to the podcast,
Oh,
even
great.
though I've sent them the link. If you guys finally figured it out, welcome to the channel. It's not really a full thing, but just like a young version of my dad looked very much like a young Rick Moranis, which my dad kind of resented because he was like, he's a dweeb. And it was kind of like, yeah, Dad, but like, you're a dweeb. And like, Rick Moranis is a legend. You both are.
All of this is true. He did. I've seen pictures. He
It's
looked,
uncanny.
He looked like Rick Moranis.
It's
He
uncanny.
looked
I don't
a
know
lot.
why we're fighting against this. Lean in, Jim. Lean in.
He is so good in this.
He's the highlight of this movie for me.
A lot of these ideas were apparently his own.
Really?
So it was his idea to change his voice when he puts
The helmet on?
the helmet on. Like when he brought the helmet down, and he talked in like a James Earl Jones.
Yes.
And affected like a weird sort of Afrikaan accent as
absolutely.
well.
Sounded absolutely nothing like him when the helmet was down, which made the juxtaposition when it wasn't even funnier. So
Yeah, that was him.
yeah.
The scene where he is playing with action figures,
Yeah, that was really good.
that was apparently not in the script.
Really?
And somehow these action figures were brought to the set. And Mel Brooks had the idea of shooting this scene with Dark Helmet playing with these dolls, and there was no script. And he just told
That's
Rick Moranis to
funny.
play with these
That's
dolls.
funny.
And that entire thing is completely improvised.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I think of him of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and mostly things like that, but Flubber.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, love Flubber.
He was in Flubber?
He's the lead in Flubber.
That was Robin Williams, man.
Oh, shoot. I know the difference between the two of them.
Wow.
I know the difference between the two of them.
You know, they say a man dies twice. Second time when they don't remember you were the lead in
No,
Flubber.
I love Flubber too. That's so bad.
It's okay.
Lauren. That's okay.
We will forgive you.
You
Also, sorry, I feel like this bears mentioning. It's 103 degrees.
Thank you, honey. Way
in
to
New York
defend
City.
me.
I'm watching both of us.
I know.
I'm feeling so glisteny.
I know. I think we're just dewy
Yeah,
and
I think
shining.
we're doing.
Yeah, we're dewy and shining, and not at all dehydrated and,
No.
and melting, and our brains
I
are a
also
little
feel
fried.
very I feel very dehydrated. Give me that water, please. This has become about survival. It's like you and I in the desert, but we're recording a podcast.
Nobody works harder. This is the work.
That's good. Is that lemon?
Yeah.
That's good.
Mm.
That's very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for keeping us alive.
This episode brought to you by water.
Water. Yeah.
You don't get that SpongeBob reference. We're gonna have to fix that.
No.
My other favorite bits, when the ship is transforming,
Yeah.
and I was like, "It's a transformer," and then they said, "It's a transformer." I was like, not that was particularly high comedy that
You
that
got
could
it,
not
though.
have been gotten there. But I did get it before they said it, and I felt very proud of myself.
There is actually Transformers in this movie.
Who?
So in the scene with Yogurt, Mel Brooks
Mhm.
playing Yogurt,
Yeah.
merchandising, and he's showing all the merchandise. There is a Spaceballs lunchbox that is actually if you look closely, that's just a Transformers lunchbox with the Spaceballs logo on it. But you see Optimus Prime on it.
Oh, I did not clock that. That's
and
funny.
there is another, like a calendar. There's something else, which is also just Transformers with
That's funny.
with the Spaceballs logo on it.
Yeah, we referenced Star Trek. We referenced Transformers, Star Wars. Obviously, we're referencing a lot of projects, a lot of different fandoms, all represented.
An Aliens reference.
You know, something I actually could have had longer. The alien popping out of his chest and then doing his "Hello, my baby, hello, my." That was like, in addition to Rick Moranis, that got me so good that I was really cracking up at that.
File that under, and I think actually we now.
Are you going to disagree with me?
No.
Oh,
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I think now we need to have a segment on every episode called "Things That Traumatized Jeremy as a Child."
oh. Well, had you seen Alien
No.
in that? Okay, when you saw
Honestly,
this
I don't think
first.
I got that reference until I was like in my late teens. I
Well,
don't
you
think
don't like scary also in general.
I did not actually watch Alien for a very long time. For someone who saw
All right, Critters 2.
Weird Science and Teen Wolf
Yeah,
and all these movies when I was
the
6.
line at Alien. You were like, no, well, that's
I didn't see.
too
I don't think I
far.
saw Aliens until I was in my like 20s.
I did not clock, which you told me, that it's the same guy that
Yeah.
happens to.
John Hurt.
I did not clock that it was the same. I thought it was funny already, and the fact that it was the same guy, and he goes, not again.
Yeah. So apparently
Perfect.
he knew that he was making a cameo,
hmm
but he didn't know what he was doing until
Oh.
he showed up to set. And then I think he even told Mel Brooks that like, you know, you don't even have to pay me. This is fun. Like I'll do a cameo. Like this is fun. And then when he saw what it was, he was like, ah, shit, I should ask for some money. He was like, damn.
I'm thinking about that alien doing his little
Hello,
dance.
my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime girl.
I'm thinking of we should put a clip if we can find it of that little dude, because I think that and Rick Moranis makes this movie worth a watch for me.
That's it?
That's it. No,
So
there's other elements.
you were on the fence till like the last 5 minutes, and you're like, all right, I'm into this movie.
I
There's
just thought
a 10-second clip of an alien doing "Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey."
did I stutter?
If any studio execs are out there trying to figure out what's going to track, this is what you're up against. This is exactly what you're up against.
But I had a good time. I laughed. I had a good time, and I laughed in a way where clearly it was meant to be a comedy, whereas like Mannequin or the first one,
Weird Science
are like sort of absurdist, but not always super funny.
Right.
And this, I was like, this is funny. This is supposed to be funny. I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
It
And
was absurd the same way some of those are absurd, but more grounded in humor.
I think now that you have seen this movie,
hmm
this is one of the most quoted movies of all time.
And I feel like I've heard people reference this before and been like, oh, that's a thing I should watch.
I have realized how often I say, you know, we've gone to plaid. Whenever something goes off the rails,
That's a good one.
whenever something goes off the rails, I'm just like, we've gone to plaid.
I didn't track that that's where this was from.
This one, you said that, you know, you liked Teen Wolf because it felt more like a movie. Of the Mel Brooks movies that are like this, that are like send-ups, that are like parodies, I feel like this one actually has the most plot and character development.
That's totally valid. I mean, I can't compare to other ones.
Yeah, but
Or,
I was
like,
I
the
was
producers,
surprised by
but-
that. I was surprised. I was thinking about the scene of Lone Star and the princess coming together, and I was like, for the most part, they really play this scene straight. It's
Yeah.
not super jokey until the
No.
virgin alarm goes
Yeah.
off. The videotape bit is so classic. Do you remember the videotape bit when they're trying to find them? So they play "This Is Now."
Oh yeah, and they're yes, and they're fast forwarding and rewind,
Yes.
and then they yes.
I think is a stroke of genius.
It was funny.
It was apparently the thing Mel Brooks was most proud of in this movie. Whenever people asked, like, what he liked about this movie, he was like, I think that's one of the funniest things I've ever done. There's a lot of meta humor in this.
Yes.
It is pretty deft. I compare it to like Deadpool, the Deadpool movies, because both Deadpool and Spaceballs, both movies are very good at playing the metagame, at stepping out of the movie and making fun of the movie, but somehow swerving back into the movie in a way that we are back in, and we are still bought in, and we still care about what happens and the characters, which is like not super easy to do.
No.
The shaving can thing also freaked me out when I was a kid at the end.
It going in his eyes and mouth?
Yeah. I was like, oh, he killed that man with shaving cream.
I don't think he killed him.
I think he felt dead to me. I was like,
still upon watching as an adult, you still were like, that man is gone.
I don't know, it was icky. I don't like it. That seemed like mean. I'd rather him just like run him through. Just do the noble thing. We're back to the 80s and the theme songs.
1,000,000%. I was very into the theme, and I was very into it when I realized, like, when it started, I was like, oh, I know where we're going. This has got to be the theme. Like, it was such a build, and I was like, oh, this must be a theme song. This is an 80s movie. We're building to something. This must be a theme song. And I was right, and it was a bop. 100%.
80s, the time of bops.
Again, as I said, I think we should bring back theme songs like that, where it says the name of the movie. It makes me laugh, and I love it.
Producers, I hope you're taking notes. This is the only focus group you need.
I like when things are cute. Like, I love me some Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
But I also like when things are not Jabba the Hutt ugly or Pizza the Hutt.
Yeah.
But like the little alien, I like that, and I love theme songs. So
bring back the bops.
Bring back the bops.
Bring back the bops. Do it. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting choice. They opened the movie with the Star Wars-esque theme, where it's all like, it's very orchestrated and it's very big, and they could have laid that under the final scene, but they played the Spaceballs theme, and
it was in a great build, and it helped it build. It was perfect. I love the placement of where it is in the movie.
It was so pandemonium with clowns running around and a guy in a bear suit,
and I thought it was perfect.
Here we go. We're doing trivia.
Love it.
It's trivia time.
Woo!
It's trivia o'clock.
Period.
Trivia-tastic.
I wish you would quit while you're ahead.
I'm just going to read the trivia. Here we go.
Tell me things.
As we mentioned earlier, in June 2025, Amazon MGM Studios announced that a Spaceballs sequel will be released theatrically by MGM in 2027. Ron Howard, Brian Grazer, Jeb Brody, who I'm going to pretend I also know.
Yeah.
Do you want to know the alleged plot of this movie? Because I think there is an aspect of this that you are going to really enjoy.
Also, is there a trailer out or anything?
No. There's a teaser trailer that looks like the opening crawl of this movie, like the words, that also goes on very long. So I don't know your thoughts on that. It goes on for a very long time. Oh, no,
that's perfect. I love that.
Which basically runs down every single sequel that has transpired in the last 37 years.
That's good. That's good.
And then finally says, but never has there been a Spaceballs sequel until now. It's very, very funny.
Well done. Well done, marketing team. Tell me the plot. What's the suspected plot?
Lewis Pullman, Bill Pullman's real-life son, will star as Starburst, the son of Lone Star and Vespa, and Keke Palmer as a character named Destiny.
No, you're kidding.
And Josh Gad will be in it as well.
Wait, I love all of those people.
Mel Brooks will be reprising the role of Yogurt.
Hell yeah.
And Bill Pullman and Rick Moranis are returning. Everyone's returning except for John Candy because he died. He's dead.
Okay.
Sorry. R.I.P. Also did not star in Flubber. Just so I just want to get out in front of that one. Right here, right now.
I missed something for you.
Yeah, so that is the plot. So I know you like Bill Pullman's son because we saw the Thunderbolts together. And he was shirtless for a second, and you covered my eyes. So I know you'll be excited about this one, and I am excited about getting back into the gym.
You're perfect, and I love you.
Thank you, my
And
love.
also, two things can be true at once. Lewis Pullman, really, really digging him.
Along with Caddyshack 2, Beetlejuice, and Big, this movie is notable for containing fuck in a movie rated PG by the Motion Picture Association of America during the early years of the PG-13 rating.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, the original video label erroneously states that this movie was rated PG-13.
Oh.
Whoops.
Whoops.
The Millennium Falcon from Star Wars makes a cameo in this movie. Can you recall where? Is very, very subtle. You wouldn't know unless you were looking for it.
I was not looking for it.
Great, I shall inform you.
Please.
At the diner scene at the end, in the parking lot, there were a bunch of spaceships parked, and one of those spaceships. Also, the pod sequence, the escape sequence, some of those shots was gifted to Mel Brooks from George Lucas because they were unused. It was an unused sequence in Star Wars.
Oh.
It was something they shot in Star Wars and never used,
Yeah.
and he just gave it to George Lucas.
That was very kind.
Steve Martin was the original choice for Colonel Sanders. He would have been great.
Oh, he would have been so good.
He would have been great.
Why
Rick
didn't he
Moranis
do
and
it?
Steve Martin.
Oh, why didn't he do it?
I don't know. We can call him. Steve, if you're watching,
call us.
if you are one of the 47 people who will ultimately watch this, call us. We have questions.
Not us both doing call us.
Can we start a Get Steve Martin to watch this and answer our questions campaign? I'm going to start a change.org.
Okay.
Mel Brooks tried to get either Tom Cruise or Tom Hanks for the role of Lone Star.
You know, we love a vision.
It was- I mean, I guess stranger things have happened. I mean, like, listen, Tom Cruise was in what was the Ben Stiller movie Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
He's done
One
stuff
of
like
my
this before.
least favorite movies.
James Caan was the original choice to play Lone Star. You know James
Yes.
Caan, Buddy's dad.
From Elf, I was about to say.
I was gonna say The Godfather, and I was like, no,
Know your audience.
Buddy's
Elf.
dad. Buddy's dad from Elf. Unfortunately, he was struggling with addiction issues at the time. Then unknown Bill Pullman won the role, as Caan was deemed too expensive to insure.
But hey, good on Bill Pullman.
He was great.
Yeah, he was really great.
I really enjoyed him. He was funny. Brought some gravitas as well. At the time of the film's release, Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film 2.5 stars out of 4 and remarked, "I enjoyed a lot of the movie, but I kept thinking I was at a revival. It should have been made several years ago before our appetite for Star Wars satires had been completely exhausted." Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, saying that there were just enough funny visual gags to recommend this wildly uneven film. Variety said that the film was a misguided parody and not very funny. That's what's so interesting to me, is that I grew up, and this movie found a cult following, to be sure, on video, on TV. I have always grown up, and this movie has been like heralded as comic genius, as a touchstone, and still is.
Yeah.
It was very surprising to me to hear that it was like not super well received. In fact, the film won Worst Picture at the 1987 Stinkers Bad Movie Awards. A thing that I did not know existed. Maybe that became the Razzies.
That's
I don't know.
Yeah. But I don't think she's Razzie worthy.
Yeah, the movie was not
She's fun.
super well received at the time, which reflects like critics' score 52,
Yeah.
audience score I think 83. We said.
Yeah.
That's it. That's Spaceballs. Final thoughts.
I had a good time. It's a cute little like hour 30.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had a good time. I laughed. I enjoyed. I mean, I think unless you've been living under a rock, you'll at least get some of the references. There are so many different references.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it's some pretty like base humor, but you know, sometimes a fart joke just is funny.
Sometimes a fart joke is just funny.
It just is.
A fart joke is funny.
I had a good time.
We should have more fart jokes.
And I look forward to now knowing what you mean when you say we've gone plaid.
Also, I am looking forward to using "Take only what you need to survive," as Lone Star says to the princess.
And much like the princess.
Yeah.
I need a lot of things for my survival.
That's not going to go over well. Would you recommend this to people of your younger millennial generation?
Yeah, I would. I feel like this one I totally would recommend this.
Great.
I understand the hype with this one. I do.
Maybe we'll do one for you next week.
For 5? I love that.
5 and still alive.
5 and still alive.
This has been So I Married a Millennial. We're also on social media. We are on Instagram.
Yep.
Tiki-Taki. Tiki-Taki. We're on the Tiki-Takis.
YouTube.
We're on the YouTube. You might be watching this on YouTube. You might be one of the 48 people watching this on YouTube. If so, what's up?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Well,
Chris edit that out.
now we no longer have 48 people watching this on YouTube. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, we will see you next time on So I Married a Millennial. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
So I married a millennial. Now I'm watching all the things he knows. So I married a millennial. I married